Too bad we're not recording. The camera's not live and recording, because that would have been ideal. I would have had to cut out the promo in order to record.
Hi.
That would have been good. So hi, happy Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. It's not Wednesday.
It's not Wednesday.
It's
That's
Tuesday.
when I made the mistake last time.
Well, happy Tuesday and welcome to Live from Rabs, from inside Rabs Country Lanes. Yesterday we had our Diamond episode 75.
75, and appropriately on day one of phase one.
Yeah. We had two great guests. If you watched us yesterday, again, thanks to Joe DeModio and Joe Laverty for joining us yesterday. Yes. We talked some sports, some baseball, some bowling. They're great, and they tune in and watch. And so,
true sports fans,
without a
real
doubt.
fans. In addition to being very knowledgeable, they are truly fans of the game, and
they're Met fans,
which makes us like them just a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that makes them true. That makes them true sports fans.
Yes.
Because we as Met fans have been through the struggle.
We know the struggle.
There's the curve, the excitement level, the not so excitement level, the drop off, and then you have the nice holding pattern when we're doing well, and you're like, oh, that's wonderful.
But there's always the waiting for the shoe to drop because it's inevitably
sitting on the edge of our seats.
Last, right?
Yeah, and Yankee fans had that the last couple of seasons, so I'm glad that they get to experience a little bit of that with us.
Yes, and unfortunately, it looks like there may not be a baseball agreement.
Yeah, I'm a little sick of that. I mean, this is we've talked about this a lot here, and every day it changes, and it really is a shame. It's a shame that we just can't come to an agreement. To get on the diamond, to play some professional sports, and of course, listen. I mean, baseball really is America's pastime when it comes to professional sports. Don't get me wrong, and I think football is truly an American sport, but baseball. I mean, it's history alone. Yeah.
It's ingrained in the history of the country, and unfortunately the players apparently want 100% of their salary or the prorated salary, and the owners are offering 75%. So I think that's where they're stuck, and maybe they will stay stuck there.
Yeah. I don't know. Hi everybody.
Yeah,
welcome to the party. We hope that you are enjoying today. It's another nice day out.
It's beautiful. It's warm, super warm today. So today is a good day for the beach, which we're not allowed to go to.
No, but if anybody happened to catch Governor Murphy, and our friends in New Jersey are a little excited today because they lifted the stay-at-home ban, which is progress, certainly throughout the state. Groups of 10, 20, I think it's 20 now can congregate.
Oh.
And then groups over outdoors. I mean, so there's some, we're getting
some movement.
There.
Yeah.
There's some movement. And so kudos to Governor Murphy and and the folks in New Jersey. Good luck. We'll be there soon.
Yeah. Listen, we'll just wait. And, the numbers keep getting better and better in New York. And
they're really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are good.
I mean, when it comes to the coronavirus, it comes to the coronavirus and COVID, and the numbers really have been great. And so hopefully we can ride this tide and it stays like this.
Yeah, it's funny because yesterday we had an appointment with our nutritionist, and she has an office on Staten Island and in New Jersey. And she was... she expressed that, a lot of people don't realize how badly Staten Island got hit with this.
Yeah.
And she said it was one of the worst places in the area. I know that when you look at the numbers for Staten Island, overall, the numbers may not have been as high as the other boroughs, but per capita, based on how many people we have, the numbers were bad, and all
within the same, like, very in a shortened time span. I think that's the difference when you look at comparative to the other boroughs.
And we talked about at length about the virus and how some people got really sick and she, it's funny because it's almost like a double-edged sword that, people are angry now because they feel like, this is all about nothing. It's not so bad. But meanwhile, the things that they put in place to protect us actually worked. So, and the hospitals were very, very close to capacity. And if Cuomo hadn't made the decision, which some agree with, some don't, to send nursing home patients back to the nursing home, we would have had a severe problem on Staten Island. But listen, we're through it. We're on the other side, and hopefully we stay on the downhill side. And life can resume soon.
We're hoping. Aunt Ro, I see that you tuned in. Just so you know, Uncle Ed is still here and he's safe. We had a nice surprise visit. Uncle Ed and Jimmy are still.
They've been chatting there for a while.
At least an hour later, still chatting. So
we should maybe have them on over here.
It was nice to see.
God only knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, and then Ray piped in. So they were talking
it's a threesome now.
Yeah, they were talking about old Staten Island, of course, and bowling, fishing.
A lot of fishing talk.
Poor Uncle Ed and Aunt Ro have birds in their house, so we were talking a little bit about that in the walls.
Oh! I thought you meant they had birds as pets.
No. No. They have them in the wall. We were talking about that a little bit. So Jimmy got excited. So I mean, over the years, in a building like this, because the doors are always open. No, Aunt Ro, I am not kidding. He is still here. I don't know if I got him in trouble, but he is okay.
He's good. He's having
great.
a good
He's having a good time chatting away.
And he's maybe out of your hair for a little while.
I don't know if he was supposed to go somewhere, but maybe he was supposed to go somewhere else. So that conversation spurred over the years. We talked about the animals that have encroached inside the building. We've had squirrels and birds, and knock on wood, I mean, we haven't had the squirrels in the ceiling bit for a long time.
They haven't been around for a while.
We spent a lot of effort outside trying to seal up spots.
Yeah, and they can get into really small spots.
Yeah, and even the birds. So outside, I believe we currently have 2 spots where there might be birds in the ceiling. And it's hard because we're so used to having so much more noise outside. Hi, Michael. Jimmy's still up here talking. Yeah. So you might get lucky. He might not even see you. So we spent so much time and effort trying to
seal up the building.
Seal up spots. Birds, I mean, but they're behind. We have them behind the sign. I think in the bar ceiling there's a spot. Because every time I go in there, I hear this ruffle.
Yeah.
And then I hear chirping, but I can't tell if they're outside or inside.
Right.
And I'm not going to bother them at this point. I mean, they'll make their nest, they'll go. They're not causing a problem. But on a regular basis, we wouldn't necessarily hear because there's so much noise.
Noise in the building.
But when a squirrel gets in here, I mean, they come through one of my favorite squirrel stories, Jimmy.
We've had some good squirrel stories.
Coming out, the squirrel came out of the bowl return, and the ladies. I don't know if it was a Tuesday or it was Wednesday morning, I think. And the ladies, Jimmy comes up, and they're all standing on the chairs,
screaming as they went down, as the squirrel ran past.
They're all standing on the chairs, and here's this squirrel standing at the bowl return.
It was pretty funny.
I think the best one has to be the possum. So we had a possum.
Possums they're not bad animals.
No.
But they are definitely not.
And they're not ratas.
They're not attractive.
No.
They're not attractive. But they are good for the environment.
They are. I mean, if they're bothering me, I don't bother them. But, I've had my run-ins with possums, my garbage or outside, hissing at you. And so anyway, this has got to be, it's probably 20 years. I have no concept of time anymore. We were still doing the sing-along events. And so this was a Saturday that we finally got to this possum. But about 2 weeks before, somebody said to us and Jimmy, I saw a possum. And we all laughed it off. And I bet you, you saw a possum. You're crazy. Well, the night after the sing-along was over, we had over 500 people in the building, plus how many people come in for that event. And all these tables were here. we take them up and put 6 and 8 foot tables, and we're cleaning up. And a bunch of us are over here by the snack bar and that front counter. And all of a sudden, we hear Michael Piro, screeching and yelling, "Possum!" And I swear, I'm pretty sure he hurdled tables. And the possum was under the snack machine. So the snack machine, if anybody remembers, used to be was by the door in the party room. And actually, that wasn't the pro shop. But it was, I believe it was the party room, and the snack machine was there. And he said he saw the 2 beady eyes under the snack machine. So the next day, we finally, the possum has come out, and we trapped him. Jimmy took cardboard and boarded it up and got him outside. And so now we're watching him take the possum outside. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Take it, and then the possum started going over the fence, and Jimmy's like pushing it with a hockey stick. Get out of here, get out of here.
Right.
Well, then the poor thing falls over the fence, and now he's on the ground. So now he feels bad. So now he's playing possum, or he's just a little dizzy for a moment. Right. And he gets into the tree, and sadly the crows just like there were a bunch of crows in the tree that just attacked him. Yes, bro, moon pies. Yes, that is another that is another good memory of the candy machine and those late nights. Sumo loved the moon pies. So anyway, we're just talking about animals, and so that's our animal.
Pick a nice animal story. Can we not?
I mean, they're not really nice. The birds come through and they fly through the pins, and people freak out, and then we got to get them out the door. And then
we've had birds in the pro shop.
Birds are tough. Birds are hard to.
Yeah. You get the broom. We chase them with the broom.
We chase them with the broom. Michael just sent us a message asking if he slept through Tuesday. No, you slept through Monday. Today is Tuesday. I don't know if he's watching the show, but we did say Happy Tuesday.
We did say Tuesday.
It's not. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I was thrown off because Jimmy doesn't work Tuesday days. So when he walked through the door today, I was not expecting anybody.
He's not working.
He's clearly not working right now. I was not expecting anybody today except for us. So I was by myself for a while, and then Thomas came in to open the snack bar and get prepared, and then Arturo came in, and then Uncle Ed came in with Arturo, and then here comes Jimmy. So Jimmy goes, I think I'm taking Thursday off. But I think Jimmy's watching the weather to decide what days he's going to go back out fishing.
Definitely,
which he's been doing. He got some tuna. You see 11 tuna this week.
Did he bring any?
He didn't bring any. But doesn't mean he's going to bring any yet. I mean, you never know. He does usually pop in.
Yeah.
With some tuna. I mean, there's nothing like.
Oh, when he brings that fresh tuna,
caught fish.
Yes.
There's really nothing like it. So we always thank Jimmy.
He's even actually cooked it for me a couple times.
Yeah. Well, because you have been, we're both notable for he brings it and then we forget it. Right. So I have been very specific that I do not forget. I leave myself notes and then I go in the back and I get it out of the fridge, or he puts it in a cooler. And there's nothing like him yelling at you that you forgot the fish.
Right.
And you don't want him to be mad at you because
then he won't bring it anymore.
He won't bring it anymore. He takes pride in his work, and then it's all nice filleted and clean, and so then I take it and make it into nice steaks.
Yeah.
Don't if he's gonna bring it.
Oh, I won't forget.
You better.
No, usually I have him cooking it for me. I eat it before if he did here.
That's a problem. We had tuna steaks the other night that were really good. I went from across the street up the block, and now that we're talking tuna, I would love to have some. Jim, you should bring some fresh tuna.
Yeah, exactly.
There's certainly nothing like it. And I throw it on the barbecue. Very simple.
Very nice. Very easy. You're right. Very simple.
Hey, we've got a great week here on Live from Rabs. Our guest today has been rescheduled for Friday, which is cool. So I think as we need to make a point, we kind of laugh when we don't have a guest and it's just us. Like it's just us.
We call it the show about nothing.
Yeah, but I think we owe it to ourselves to do this too. I like this sometimes.
Sometimes it's just chatting.
And it's okay. And everybody watches and tunes in, and we want them to pipe in and ask questions or
ask questions or
bring something up.
Any thoughts or.
But it works. I mean, we get people to hang around and talk to us.
Surprisingly.
Tomorrow, while we have a large audience at the moment, tomorrow we have a
awesome show.
WBA champion Danielle McEwen.
Yep.
And then tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yes.
Thursday
is Pam.
Thursday's Pam Silvestri. We'll talk more food. Friday, Renee Sarno. from Yay Maker. She's been creative during this time, doing some virtual stuff.
Yeah.
But she's the one that hosts parties, and we're getting ready to host one here at Rabs, at Paint Night. And so she's going to talk a little bit about what she's been doing, and then what she does as a whole, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another spotlight on a small business, so to speak, here on Staten Island. Saturday, past president USBC and
Andrew Kane,
PBA champion Andrew Kane will be on the show. So we got a nice week. And I didn't ignore your question because I wasn't talking about it yet. But Brian, Joe Cal, he's not scheduled to come tomorrow. But he has to stop here for something. So I don't know if we're going to get him to hang around.
Not tomorrow.
He's not
playing golf tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. He's playing golf tomorrow. So
unless he's going to be back by then.
That's right. He's playing golf tomorrow. He did say that he had to stop by for something, so we were going to try to.
He was going to try to text you. You were Monday.
Joe.
We
have been identified in phase 4. So currently, bowling alleys and movie theaters and amusement centers are in phase 4 of the governor's plan. So we're hoping that for a mid-July opening. I mean, we're hoping for. We want it to be open yesterday.
Right, exactly.
But we're looking. It looks like if all goes well over the next month, there's no spike in cases, and we're moving into the next phases. Phase 4, mid-July.
Yeah.
So that's what we're hoping for, and then we're going to open outdoors. We'll have open bowling opportunities. We might have a short league season just to get yourself ready for the winter. And then before we know it, September will be here. We'll get the league started again. Modesta, good question. We talked a little bit about the what to expect in this new environment.
Right.
And we don't know.
We don't know.
We do know that bowling centers around the country that have already opened have not required bowlers to wear masks. I mean, I'm struggling with that because you're doing physical activity to wear it for a long period of time.
I don't know.
Our staff will be currently in reopenings. Employees are required to wear masks. But as far as anybody that comes in, it's not necessarily a requirement. But bowling centers around the country haven't really been pushing that envelope. I've seen a couple that are requiring it, but for the most part, they're not because most of us are practicing safe distancing between lanes. Putting people a lane apart, a pair apart, depending on how busy they are. So they're not forcing the masks. But again, we don't know.
We don't know.
The funny part about this all of what's been growing here, we're in certain positions because there were no plans. And so now for business reopening, there have been there's some good, I'm laughing because he's back at the shelf, the same shelf where Ray keeps reorganizing the one shelf.
Well, he's got an idea to cover the front of it.
Yeah, he didn't like the way it looked.
He didn't like
the
way
it moved it. He flipped it around. He keeps going back to it. So
you were talking about the position that we're in because there was no plan.
Oh, there was no plan. However, what's happening on the reopen? So the governor's office. This is something that is actually making sense and doing well. There's the reopening. It's reopening New York, but there are guidelines for each of the businesses in each of the phases.
Yeah.
And then there's a checklist. And then we have to submit a report
of what our plans are. Right. What
our plans are. It doesn't have to get approval, but we have to finish it and submit it. Yeah. So it actually makes some sense. But they're what doesn't make sense is, they haven't pushed forward for all the phases. They're doing it group by group.
Right.
So only phase 1 and barely the phase 2 information's available. And we certainly miss bowling too. This not listening to any music and crashing in the background is driving us bananas. The closest to pin crashing is when we reset the lanes on a daily basis, and there are no bowling balls being thrown. Or if a bowling ball is thrown, it's Jimmy and Michael.
Jimmy and Mike fixing a lane,
fixing something. And
although Ray's been itching, so I think Ray might want to throw a couple shots.
We'll have to oil a lane for him.
Yeah,
get something ready for him. Don't get any ideas.
Yes, not open for everybody.
We're not it's funny. I asked this question of, so the New York State bowling proprietors have been getting on a conference call each week and having conversations about forging forward and seeking us to get into
phase 3.
And we're not really getting that much support. It's not getting enough rally. Part of the reason, and I think we discussed this a little bit, there's a large percentage of bowling centers in New York State that close for the summer.
Yeah.
And some of them just haven't spent the time to say, hey, you know what? Let's help everybody else as an industry. And that's a little disheartening because I would be the first one to be picking up the phone
to help somebody else.
However, speaking with our own elected officials, they're all supportive. They just don't believe that they'll push and have conversations. They just don't believe there's enough support to push one industry over another.
Right.
But our business can't really be compared to others, but it is what it is.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see where this goes, one day at a time. But throughout New York State, it's very different. There are counties with 0 cases. Some of them are have been in phase 1. They're getting ready for phase 2. And so for New York City, it's a little slower.
We have a very dense population in the city, so
so what I was saying, I had asked the attorney that represents us. I lost track there for a moment. About private clubs. And I forgot who was on the show specifically mentioned. We were talking about the private golf courses having the opportunity to maybe be open. I've also heard that maybe there are gun clubs that are open, but they're private membership clubs.
Right.
And when I asked about this, he just, he didn't have an answer and I almost said that, hey, why wouldn't we consider being private for a period of time, membership type thing, knowing who we could bring in. He wasn't very keen on that.
Yeah,
and our business really couldn't be transformed because we weren't that.
Right.
But I could argue our regular league bowlers
are like our club, right?
Yeah. Sarah Courtney is telling me that the Courtney certainly miss bowling, and we miss you guys too.
Yeah,
and she'd like to protest with her cricket and make some signs. Sarah, I'd be very afraid of the signs that you could make and the things that you could make on your cricket. But go to Albany with a sign. I want to go bowling now. And see where that
there you go. Put one on your front lawn. Make some lawn signs.
We're gonna have to get to Andy Cuomo's house because all of our elected officials, we've had conversations with all of them. Very supportive of the Staten Island business community.
Right.
They all understand that we're chomping at the bit. They all want to be bowling yesterday. I've had some great conversations through this and some support for others through the chamber and the SADC.
Right.
And not saying that they won't have the conversations. They're just trying to get their way through.
There were
on both sides. I mean, it's everybody.
There are so many small businesses that people. I mean, till you start looking at the numbers of how many small businesses there actually are, it's hard to get a handle around it. So it's not like they're talking about 50 small businesses. No. Even on Staten Island, it's thousands and thousands.
Well, forget about Staten Island, but think about the number I threw out yesterday. In phase 1, they estimated over 400,000 people went back to work in New York City. It seems like a very high number. It makes sense. Listen, you think about our population. Staten Island has I'm going to argue, more than 400,000 people anyway.
Right.
So just take everybody that's just the population of Staten Island. Take a small percentage of that, then Brooklyn, over 1 million people, and the rest of New York City. It's not really a lot of people.
No, no.
Well, Sarah doesn't bowl. We've seen her put her skills to use in her at-home bowling video. So she's been bowling at home from what we've seen. But I'd like maybe we could.
So maybe when she comes back, she's going to have some surprise skills.
She might have some. Oh, I love busting Sarah's chops. But I mean, Sarah's good because she does it to us all the time. But maybe this will get Sarah on the lane. She says she's been cooped up too long. So I'm excited because around the country, bowling centers have opened. There are some great success stories coming from them. Not all. Some are having a very hard time getting rolling just because people are still not hesitant to go out. But the majority of the people that go out have been the league bowlers. The league bowlers who have their own bowling balls and shoes are the first ones that have walked through the doors. And so we're learning and we're watching as our friends reopen throughout the country. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
But before you know it, Naz, I mean,
we're back on the lanes.
This is day 85 of the quarantine, which is crazy to begin with. because we didn't think we'd still be doing this 85 days later, 76 episodes later. And we are. And by the time, I mean, we're going to hit 100. I mean, the inevitable, which we thought we'd do maybe, 30 of these?
We thought maybe 30.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Here we are today. And it's funny. I've gotten a couple text messages the last couple of days because in the beginning of this, we had events that were rescheduled. Hey, let's be hopeful for a June, so July
now
opening.
People are back into...
And I'm getting alerts. Oh, you have to go to this event. I'm going, no.
Yeah.
Dennis, there's no reason that you'll have to wear a hazmat suit. But I'd love to see you come in and bowl in a hazmat suit.
That would be interesting.
We will welcome you here on the set of Live from Rabs when we go to reopen officially in your hazmat suit. That won't be. Hopefully, that won't be necessary.
Yeah, I'm. There's so many. Now that we're actually kind of getting back into things and activities, and where we are in New York is so different than other areas. Not even that far away. So Terry was telling us about her son's is a coach for travel baseball in Pennsylvania, and they are playing travel baseball. They traveled to Ohio and played a team. There were no restrictions. Kids in the dugout, high fives. So, it's just it's different. It's different. And, eventually, hopefully we'll get to that place. But
yeah, I mean, we want to get there. And my brother was sharing with me. So I said yesterday, we were talking about Little League. My nephew plays for at Great Hills, and they've got a great program. They have a great program, and they have, I mean, between all the fields and the way that the complex is laid out, they have ways to distance and do what we need to do. But they're all pushing collective. What he was sharing, they had sent out a note between the swim clubs. So the Great Hills Swim Club, along with the other swim clubs, and then the Little Leagues collectively are all putting plans together to reopen. So they're also a member at Great Hills Swim Club. And then at the same time, I guess the same people coordinated these messages, but they're all working together to get back up and running safely and effectively the way they need to.
Right.
A friend of mine belongs to a swim club outside of New York, and they reopened, but the forced emptying of the pool is more often than it used to be, specifically to do a forced filtration and do cleaning, and it's been received well. I said, so I mean, there are ways to do it.
Right.
So it'll be interesting, but the Little Leagues seem to be working together to get open. They're looking. Snug Harbor has announced a date, July 7th, which might be for all of them. The other ones haven't. It doesn't seem like they've announced dates.
Yeah.
But there's this June 20th date that's floating, at least to work towards, and then get open. I mean,
I've driven past parks and I've seen kids practicing.
Yeah.
Coordinated practices.
They might not be supposed to be doing it, but they're doing it.
Right. I don't think they're sanctioned practices, but I mean, there are people out there doing what they got to do.
Listen, no different than not being in shape to come back to bowling. I get it. So, and if you watched earlier in the show, we ask our professionals and other guests to talk about getting fit and staying fit during this time. It's so important to do some sort of workout routine or just movement. Take your bowling ball, throw it into
just roll it
around the house.
Even if you swing it, even if you just take it.
If you don't have your ball, you got some weights. Use the weights just like you're swinging the bowling ball. Throw it into the couch, some pillows. There are ways that you could keep your hands and your arms in rather than just becoming rubber, because that's what's going to happen after not bowling for 90 plus days.
And you know what? There were other ways to work out that are maybe not bowling ball specific. Use free weights, use what you have around the house. But this is a good time if you've been a slug to jump back on. Listen, there are workouts everywhere you turn. YouTube, there's people on TikTok that post workouts. I mean, they're everywhere, and it doesn't have to be a complicated workout.
I like how you made sure you threw the TikTok in.
I had to get the TikTok in.
So on Facebook, there are a bunch of, I want to come back to the TikTok because we were going to open with that, and I stuck because we were talking about it, but I want to come back because you were talking a little bit before about something. On Facebook, Bowl Fit, Kegel, the bowling ball companies all have different videos, and even on YouTube, that you could go and search. And yeah, so yes, Vicky, averages are going to go down beginning of the season. So, and this is different than not just bowling for the summer. Like many people that bowl in the winter for the full winter and then take off the summer and then don't come back. This is going to be a longer extended time than just the June, July, August, not bowling and coming back. Because even and then, many, not all, but come back and bowl at least once.
Right. Some people are
during the summer, or they're
tuning up in the summertime,
or they're still active
in some way.
Yeah. So I mean, this longer period of time, and it was just halted, and then to start up again.
Right.
You can't just expect to come back in September and just throw the ball down.
Well, I fully expect to do that.
We'll throw the ball. I'm sure
I fully expect to do that. But you know what? Go ahead.
I can't believe the size of my thumb. I mean,
I never really had the big thumb thing, but I'm sure I'll need some tape. It'd be interesting to see, although I'm interested in the physical aspect of the game and how people may struggle or not struggle coming back, I'm interested to see how the change in interaction affects people on the emotional side of bowling, because a lot of people are very competitive bowlers and that's what they get out of it, but a majority of people are here, I believe, for the camaraderie and the friendship and just being together. So that's going to be so different, I believe, in some ways, that I'd be curious to see if people have that true appreciation when they come back of people. I know, I know how much I miss people, and when you're in an environment like this, and so many people are a part of your everyday, and then
boom,
it's me and Frankie.
All right, so here's my prediction. Ready?
Will it be like everything else, where they'll appreciate it for a little while and then they'll go back to being?
So September's going to come. We're going to start the league season. Maybe the first 4 weeks. I give it a week, maybe 2 weeks. The high fives are probably limited, and it'll still be this. And then all of a sudden, everybody's just going to look at each other and say "F this" or whatever, and then you can have people in between. I mean, we have germaphobes anyway, in and out, no matter what. There are germaphobes in every group, so I think you're going to have that. But I think that it's going to be something that goes away. We'll laugh about it, and flu season. But then flu season will arrive, and then we'll be having a different conversation.
We'll be on some heightened awareness.
I really hope that a couple of things. One, that if you're not washing your hands, that you are, and we've never had to tell you wash your hands more than ever. That you will. Maybe some practices will be a little different. Just for personal hygiene. And that message, especially in an environment like this, where you're doing physical activity. I mean, there's a lot happening. People sweat. I just hope that people are a little bit more conscious of that moving forward, and that doesn't slip away for good and bad reasons. I think that that's so important. That's something that I hope sticks for sure. And if you're sick, think twice about coming out.
Right.
We love to come out, and if we bowl once a week, that is my thing to do.
Right.
And you can't always get a sub, because either your league allows them or you don't, or somebody's not available.
Just be absent.
Just take the week off, please. If you don't feel good, stay home. Don't come here and sneeze. And then, because I think even like when we go out, and I've been in that position where I don't feel good, and maybe I'm not 100% sick, or I'm just something.
Right.
You're more conscious of being around people. Like even here, I just got over something.
No, please, right.
We get a lot. Yeah, we get a lot of that. I want more of that. Please don't hug me. And so, and to your point, because of how we interact, high fives are a big thing.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say this. I'm not a big. I do it, but we high five for everything. You miss a spare, and shake it off. And it's a tap on the hand.
To me is like ingrained.
It's
acknowledging the effort. So my point of that whole spiel I went into was that I hope that people hang on to how important other people are in their lives, because they're coming here every week, and I'm not saying you take it for granted, but you get so used to it that you don't think about. And now we're in this position, and I just think people have a new appreciation for people in their lives and socialization and how important it is.
So yesterday we closed the show and we reminded people to pick up the phone and call people. And, I have to laugh. And what the example I gave was my friend.
Was your 75-year-old friend?
No, 97-year-old.
97-year-old friend.
97-year-old John Simonella from Ohio. He called me again today. So now he's called me twice in 2 weeks, and I think it's great. And he's great. The reason why he called was he wanted to tell me that he had seen the USBC Facebook show.
And
yes. I was just impressed that when he said, "Oh, I saw you," and he calls Andrew K and Andy, you and Andy on the USBC show, and it was so nice to see it on the TV. And USBC needs to do more of that. And he relives the old days a lot,
right?
And I was impressed that somebody made either. I don't know if he's on it.
Doing it himself.
When
right.
I asked him, I said, "Oh, Facebook, you're on Facebook," and I couldn't grasp if he's physically doing it because he's not.
Or somebody's setting him up,
or somebody's making sure that he's got something new to. Right. And whoever's doing that for him, God bless you.
Yeah.
My friend Joy, if you're watching, you might have some insight to that. If you know anybody that's close to John, but yeah, it was just great. And he calls. And somehow got through to the phone. The phone rang
again
at the bowling center.
It was meant to be.
Here. It's like if you call one of the other lines, sometimes it pops through. Meant to be. But he called. I was on the phone for him for 20 minutes, and that's when everybody else started walking in. And I'm sitting there going, "I love you all."
But I came in to do work early.
Yes, I was alone. And you're right. And I was to say Arthur, but Brian, you're right. We want to teach good sportsmanship, and it's important to always shake hands for a good ball or a bad ball. And it's the encouragement side. I just laugh as adults. At some point, we still do it, and it's a good thing. That's the beauty of this sport, is that we all do it together, and the camaraderie that's within that, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So I just make fun of it because you lose, and we're still shake it off. What other sport? Golf. Men and women on the golf course, I feel are that way too.
Yes.
Very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
But you do have cut through it also that don't even touch me.
There were people who cheat in golf, and there's a couple people who use a foot wedge, and
the magic pencil.
Maybe some people who don't count so well.
You blame it on the fact that they can't count. Maybe they really can't.
Purposely, they can't count. Oh. But overall, it's a game that's built on on honesty and integrity, and golf has kind of always prided itself in that. So
thank God for automatic scoring these days.
Thank God for automatic scoring. Yeah.
Not meaning people still can't cheat, but yes,
right.
We don't encourage cheating.
And I'm not saying, I was in no way insinuating that bowling does not have integrity. I was not saying that.
No, I know what you're saying.
I was just we're just talking about golf.
And for those that don't know, Gennaro's is open Tuesday through Saturday. So food is available for takeout and delivery. Today I saw Marco. We posted that we've got, you buy a pizza, you get a second half off.
Oh.
So there's a deal today.
I may take pizza home today.
Breaking news.
I still
buy a pie, get a second one half off. It's a good deal. They were doing some Zeppeli. I mean, you get your Zeppelis, you can get whatever you want.
The best.
But Marco and Arturo are here to fulfill your pizza needs. I do have to take a pie home this week. I got to map out which day I'm going to do that, though. Today I've got burgers and hot dogs out. I think the kids are coming over to go in the pool.
Today is definitely a pool day. If you have a pool, it is definitely pool day.
Yeah. Sunday was a really nice pool day. It was just the thing about Sunday.
Sunday was
breezy,
a little cooler,
though.
right?
Yeah, I went in. I actually went into the pool.
Yeah, I haven't been in the pool yet.
I'm not, and I haven't really. I said I don't really get to enjoy it as much.
Right.
But I went into the pool. It was nice. But as soon as the moment I came out of the pool, this huge gust of wind came by. I was like, "Holy Moses!" And that was the same gust of wind the week before that broke my umbrella. So thank you to
darn you.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Wayfair, for handling that return.
Oh, it was Wayfair. They've got just what you need.
And they didn't even. We just got what you need? How's that
Wayfair, we've got just what you need.
Yeah. They were really good about it.
I'm good with the jingles.
Took a photo.
I know all the jingles.
I was honest. I didn't tell them that it broke when I opened it.
They told you don't even send it back?
No, because it costs more to ship it. The only problem is the product's not available anymore. So now we're still looking.
You had to get another one?
Umbrellas. Hey, so we opened Nazareth. If you saw when we opened, if you were watching, Nazareth was dancing on the lanes, channeling her inner TikTok. Because I think Nazareth wants to make some videos. But you shared an interesting point about the TikTok and the purpose of dancing. However, I want to say I feel like that's people's excuses.
To
do what they do.
No.
Go ahead. Tell me about the science you were sharing.
I'm gonna try to find it.
You gonna look for it? You don't need to.
I'm not gonna. It was a.
You can never find anything.
It was maybe. Yeah, I can never go back and find anything. I don't even know how to. But it was might have been a behavioral psychologist, and he was talking about how releasing, because when you dance or you whatever you know, like usually before the show where the two of us are doing it. Don't make it sound like I'm the only one.
I danced too. I always dance, but you were specifically.
I got up and
on
danced.
The dance floor today dancing.
But it releases tension, and I will have the full. I wasn't expecting to have to speak on it today, but I'll have full details tomorrow about exactly how that affects your well-being. And I think it's well known that
dancing definitely
is definitely good for you. So it was actually this. It was somebody talking about doing it before you speak. Or before you make a presentation, and it was about releasing tension. And
I've been caught backstage dancing.
Well, yeah, because
shaking it out.
Think about it, right? It's kind of like getting rid of the tension, and music kind of calms you and relaxes you, or revs you up, depending which way you want to go. So yeah, I it started out as a joke when I was not on the TikTok, but I've been enlightened now.
There's a lot of enlightenment there. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff.
There is a lot of stuff on the TikTok.
I'm a firm believer in the simple joys in life, and taking advantage and just enjoying the view and the simple. And I'm not using that as
I understand.
I'm not coining the view. I'm saying enjoying the view and taking the simple joys. Hashtag simple joys, I think, are something that you just makes you smile. It's like no different than me. I said going out on stage and speaking in front of people. Usually I find that I love the music I'm always making people laugh. I'm taking my mind off the fact of what is going to happen out on stage. Don't get me wrong. You'll read it. You're trying to prepare with what you've written or what you're going to say. But I mean, if anybody's ever been backstage with me, it's a different experience because I'm trying to get out there and you want to be energetic and be ready.
And you kind of want
no different than this.
You want to kind of roll into that being you.
Yeah.
You don't want to. And I think that's, we hope that translates here is that, we could actually sit here and read questions to people and we could just kind of go back and forth, but we don't.
And just be miserable.
Right. But we because this is us. This is how we sit in the office and talk.
Yeah. We have, Nazareth, I will say, we have totally, we might have ruined what we have.
We won't be able to go back.
No, because we totally opened up. We have completely opened up. They keep saying don't touch your face. I mean, it's so hard not to. But my hands are clean. And anything here, I got this itch in my nose.
Well, it's allergy season.
Oh yeah. So, good point. So we've opened ourselves up and shared so much in this medium that
we have no secrets left.
We have no secrets, and we love all of you. And I get messages saying I didn't know that about you, or I didn't know that, or we've totally welcomed you into our warped world, which we hope you enjoy because you keep coming back for more. And anybody new here, well, welcome to the warped world of Nazareth and Frank, which is the inner sanctum of the office. That is an absolute mess right now. I mean,
well, Frank, we're in the throes. We're in the middle
right
of
now. I when you came in today, I started taking all the stuff off my desk to clean, which hasn't been done in a while. probably too long. And so I have a cart in there. I even chipped something. I mean, I'm a mess.
It's all right. We don't have to be on display for anybody right now.
So Simple Joys, I'm going to come back to that because
we're going to come back to Simple Joys.
Speaking of Simple Joys, Joy Kellenbarger, Ohio.
Are you calling her Simple?
No. So she wrote, that is my thoughts exactly. Enjoy every moment of everything you can. Make your day the best you can. Wholeheartedly agree. And somebody like her, I mean, she's self-quarantined in the outskirts of in the country of Ohio. Joy, you weren't on before, so I want you to share with me. If you know, I've heard from John Simonella twice in the last couple of weeks. And I mean, for 97 years old, it's pretty impressive. I don't know, is there anybody that you know that's close to him that knows, hey, if everything's truly okay? But it is nice to hear. And somebody set him up to watch Facebook. And so I don't know if that's something he does on his own or somebody helps him out there. I just thought it was pretty cool. So now that you're here, I'm asking you. So Simple Joys goes back to, do you remember the mom, the Chewbacca mom?
Yeah, the lady with the mask who laughed.
Yeah. I forgot. Oh, Candace something. And she, if anybody remembers, I mean, you should drop a laugh, emoji in the comments or make a comment. But Candace, she went into Target or Walmart and she bought the Chewbacca mask, and she thought it was the silliest thing in the. Don't get me wrong, it was the silliest thing. And so that video went viral, and it turned into her creating a blog about Simple. And it really was. She's just this happy-go-lucky person with this awesome personality. But that Chewbacca mask, you open your mouth and
the Chewbacca sound comes out of it.
The Chewbacca sound, and she just didn't know how to contain herself. But that's where Simple Joys comes from. It always reminds me of that. And yes, Brian, good question. Talent video. So the talent show, look out in the next few days. We are creating the voting process and going to post for people to vote on their favorites. And Rab's Got Talent. We've taken in videos, and we're excited to showcase. We've narrowed it down a little bit, and we're going to put out the voting process this week. So be on the lookout for that. There'll be an announcement from us, and you shouldn't miss it. It'll be open for several days, and you'll get to vote for your favorites. What are you laughing at?
No, I was actually.
You're scrolling on the TikTok.
I was looking for the.
You're not going to find it. You could on the TikTok. You could see what you've liked, or you could save them.
Well, that's what I thought I did.
Yeah,
but obviously I went past that and saved a lot more after that. But honestly,
well, if you have to preface it with honestly, then maybe you aren't being truthful.
No, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. I was talking about with the TikTok because there are a lot of people dancing and having fun, but there are some really talented, smart people that are using that platform to get their message out in like a minute.
Oh yeah,
and I mean,
not even a minute. Those videos aren't even a minute long.
Right, some of them are a minute, but some of them are. I mean, I just sit there. I got sucked into the void.
I challenge everybody to download the app TikTok and go just watch and just scroll. You can sit there and scroll. We have a Rabs Country Lanes has a TikTok. It's at bowlatrabs, just like everything else.
Absolutely.
All of our other pages. You could follow Harry and his journeys.
I saw Harry last night. Came up on my feed. The one where he's walking away and his shoe came off.
And that, I have to say, the funny thing about that video, that was from Easter. That was from Easter, and that wasn't even like a planned TikTok. It happened as a result of me filming.
Right, and then that happened.
Deliveries, and that happened. So I made it made it into a TikTok. So anyway, yeah. So I challenge you to go check it out. I mean, you'll find some great, funny content that's not some of the stuff you'll see in the other silly spaces of Twitter.
Yeah, and I think I commented this at the beginning that it's not clogged up with self-righteous opinions. I'm not saying that there aren't people on there that don't have a leaning one way or the other. For the most part, at least probably from the pages that are showing up on my For You, there's like none of that.
No.
It's
because
all
it knows so after you're on it knows what you've been looking at. So it filters out some of the nonsense, and it's just and really there's some nonsense, but it's not the same. People,
it's not.
Excuse me, it's
you
just people just
flip past it.
Stuff. Hey, so yesterday you teased. We've been sharing memes of the day, and I remembered to save it today. So today's meme of the day.
There it is.
2020 was a swing.
Tell me that's not hysterical.
You know what bothers me about this? I wonder if that's even somewhat like that can't be real. But there are those blogs that show all these cuckoo things like that actually exist in the world. Like somebody made a mistake and put that. Is this real? Because it could be. I mean, it looks pretty. The top of that wall is a little, doesn't look real, but this could be real. So this is
the way you have to look at it.
Some idiot.
Where would that go if it wasn't against that wall?
It would be the way it's supposed to be, freestanding.
Okay. Well, maybe it's a partially put together swing.
Maybe, or somebody said they had these pieces and, let's make a swing out of it.
You know what?
Like, I don't understand. It's like that.
See, we're putting way too much thought into it. Look, it's something that was there. It was funny. Why go any further?
It's hysterical.
It is. It is funny.
It could be real. That's what I think the funniest part of it is. I love there are a few of them. If you find the blogs where they show them where somebody made a mistake, or the bathroom where the toilet is here and the toilet paper is on the wall by the light switch.
Right. Yeah. How are you going to get there?
Right. Like that's silly stuff happens.
I don't know if about you, but when I look at that swing, I don't picture like that's the back. The wall's in the back. I picture like you're facing the wall. Well, so that like when you swing, you're going like face first into the wall. Because that's what 2020 has been like.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Hey, we talked a lot about the last couple of days. We talked a lot about golf and bowling. But here's an old photo.
Yeah, we talked
our old photo of the day.
Oh yeah! Oh, good old Bocce, Steve Bocce.
This is Ray. Ray. I guess at the time, Ray was selling some golf clubs in the shop, right?
Yeah, he had some friends that were that had some stuff that they wanted him to sell, and we were thinking about whether we were going to sell golf clubs at that time.
Well, they're up on the wall in the shop,
and Bocce was like, "Yeah, it's just he's a good friend."
This is an old Country Lanes photo with Staten Jewelers still there, Tommy and Annette. The nice red garbage pail. I don't know what year this is from, but it's an old. Look at all the hair that's on Ray's head.
That's an old photo.
So we've been sharing these old photos for our celebrating our 25th anniversary. Yes, Christine, I could push you on the swing. Ha ha ha! You think you're funny?
Oh, she won't come on, but she'll sit here and comment.
No, Christine DeHart was here today. She picked up something.
Yep.
We're helping her out. And I invited her to come on the show today. She has been doing her own. We inspired her, as I say, as we've inspired others. She's doing a show Tuesday late mornings, 11 a.m. I believe it's 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. And she's talking about the real estate business and what's going on. And last week they had some virtual home tours. I believe today they were talking about decorating. I didn't watch it yet. I was watching something else at that time. I was on a conference call, actually. But I will watch it later and check it out. But Christine on the Salmon Real Estate page has got a show. Tomorrow, my brother Anthony's show outside from the Avenel Performing Arts Center starts.
It's amazing.
It is. They're
almost like little children we've sprouted off.
Yeah, I'm excited. He's working with Gotham Trinity Productions. Todd Bravono hosts a little show for him. They're talking about what's happening in the industry for theaters and arts as they prepare.
Oh, so he's going to be on with Todd.
So Todd is going to be interviewing some folks that they've invited over the next few weeks.
Nice.
On Wednesday afternoons. I don't know the time, so pardon me, but go to the APAC, the Avenel Performing Arts Center page, and you can get a little dose of Anthony Wilkinson after you've gotten a dose of Frank Wilkinson with Nazareth. And he's inviting his friends in the industry to come and talk.
That's awesome.
I believe tomorrow's show, one of the agents I saw, Robin Klinger, and his friend Sonia, who worked with him at One Life to Live, who still works in the industry, in the soap opera industry, but
a good friend of his
on his shows. So check it out. I mean, that's another industry that is an industry that might get hit the hardest in a different way. I mean, we're all getting hit hard,
right?
But you think about live entertainment, and we talked a little bit about this too here. If you've got to book an act for $10,000 to $20,000, and you can only put half the people in your theater,
right?
Well, you're not going to rebook them for quite some time, not knowing. So you're going to find to fill with cheaper acts, so to speak, or stuff.
Well, is that right? Is that all going to change now? Because I know that there's kind of like a staggered system of venues and a perceived like a perceived I don't want to say value, but there's a perception of artist and venue. So now is that going to change? Because it's not just going to be small theaters like that. It's going to be all theaters. I would think at some point are going to be under some restriction, at least for a while. So it's going to be interesting how that's going to affect how things going forward. Even now, are the artists themselves going to have to maybe take a little bit less money? Because look at drive-in. We got drive-in concerts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about that, because we talked about it the other day with Joe, and that's depressing to go to a drive-in concert where you have to stay in your car. And Christine says she's a much better heckler than a host. No, Christine, you've done a good job at your show.
You did a good job
last week, and so I'm looking forward to seeing this week. And I told her that, but she wouldn't come on the show with us today.
She wouldn't.
We'll get her.
We asked very nicely.
Come and join us. Talk about what she's doing, and that industry. I think they're from the frustrations that I'm hearing, they're the most frustrated, because you can't show a house, you can't do certain things.
People are still closing. No, friends of mine are closing on houses.
And it's a very different experience.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, like everybody else's business, it's different,
and it might change it permanently to an extent.
Right, correct.
Listen, if anybody's gone, many of us have been through closings, and sometimes that's you don't want to go do it. I'm very lucky. Our attorney is very. There's it cuts the crap out.
Right.
I mean, it's this, and this. You have the right people in the room. You make it happen. There's no. If you're not prepared, you're not coming.
You're not coming. Well, right. We're not.
So, and I've been in a position where he said, "Nope, we'll reschedule because they're not prepared."
Right.
And it's wonderful. So I've heard horror stories of people sitting in a room for 6 hours. I mean,
there's no reason for that.
So they're doing Zoom. You can't be in the same room, so you drop off stuff as somebody else.
Right.
It's maybe there's some streamline.
It's going to streamline the process a little bit, maybe.
It's not a fun task. I mean, you're signing your life away,
right?
And then you're getting checks, and then you realize all the money's spent already. By the time you get the money, stamp, sign, and initial. But hey, everybody's got to do their own thing.
You adjust, and the good ones, the like any other industry, the good ones are going to rise to the top, and they're going to figure out, how to get it done.
Yeah, Christine talks about how they're doing a lot of rentals. A lot of rentals during this time. It seems, and whether that's easier to actually accomplish,
right,
or
than people
buying and selling homes. Right. But now think about if you were ready to buy and sell a home, you might have to actually move because
you're right. Like if your house sold, but you're not ready.
I know some people that have been in the middle of that. I don't know anybody that's kind of like sitting in that,
Yeah, I don't either.
Like Christine is in a position where she sold her house, she's living somewhere else, and she's on hold. But I mean, people and she's got a place to be. I mean, she's not happy about it, but she's somewhere.
She's with her sister. Come on. I mean, not like she's
right. But she's home more often, so dealing with your sister. I mean, I get it, totally get it. But there are people who are reliant on, hey, if I don't have a place to be, where am I going to go? And so, I know Christine talks a little bit about that on her show, and some of the others. Fran Reale, do you see what she does on Facebook, which I think is really cool?
No, I haven't seen it.
So Fran Reale she reads children's books.
I'm sorry, I did see that. I thought you were going to ask me about in relation to real estate.
No. She's out there. She reads children's books every week.
Yes, I saw that.
And I think it's adorable.
Yes, it is.
And so everybody's doing these. They're having fun. They're trying to make the best of their time.
Right.
during this. And so now that we're in phase one, people are going back to work. We're seeing more traffic.
Oh, that is the worst. I mean, I immediately last week, it was the middle to end of last week, and I could tell it's already begun.
Yeah. And
it
people
has already begun.
I've said this over and over, especially in the beginning when people were going out. People have less regard for the road right now. I cannot tell you how many times I'm on Highland Boulevard and people are making right-hand turns out of the middle lane more than ever, and they're not paying attention. I see people on. I'm guilty of it too, but I'm paying attention and I'm not using it. People on Zoom calls. If I'm in the car, I treat a Zoom call as a conference call. I'm not on, really trying not using it in that medium. If I'm stopped, I'll pull over, or if I need to speak. But people are just
you know what I've noticed, which is a little scary, is pedestrians seem more just not caring, just crossing the street. And it happened to us yesterday, and the kid turned around and looked at us, and I was like, "But you walked in front of our car. This is a street. This is where cars belong." And it was like, well, I'm here, so you have to stop. I wasn't close, but it was just so weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway, so yes.
You don't want me to rant right now. But
so, no, let's change the subject.
That is definitely
hashtag simple joys.
And it's funny. I have my mask in my car, my bowling mask. My friend Chaz made me a bowling mask, and I've been wearing it, and it's been great. Not that I really want to be wearing a mask, but I will tell you the last couple of days, I've gotten out of the car without it, and then I've gone back and, oh, man. That's already I was very conscious of it because it's hanging and it's always
right. Yep.
Ready to grab. And I've been in a couple of positions where, oh, no.
That you forgot it? Oh, yeah. I went.
And I don't want to be in a position where I walk into a store. The only place I will say that I've walked into without my mask since the beginning is the dry cleaner, and only because there's nobody else in there. It's usually Joe by himself, and for whatever reason, I felt he didn't have it on. There wasn't a sign. I was very okay. And then today I went in there, nobody was around, and I was like, Joe wasn't there. Somebody else was there. And so she always takes care of everything. And I was like, but I was on a conference. I was listening to the phone, my buds. And so I apologize. But it's one of those things.
Wear your mask, Frank, please.
Yeah. A friend of mine was telling us a story that they walked into a store, not even thinking about it. They had it on. They took it off, walked into the store, and everybody's looking at them.
Well, there was that big thing that happened at Stop and Shop.
Yeah. Oh, that is.
And, actually, my nutritionist brought it up yesterday, and she was saying, that was all over the United States.
Yeah.
She goes, that was everywhere. And she goes, and it was extreme, and there really was no need for anybody to, but she says, at least people take it seriously. Yeah. And she's, first of all, she's brilliant. And anybody who talks to me about Ray's health and how he's been as healthy as he is, I thank the doctors at Sloan, and right behind them is my nutritionist, because she is brilliant and has helped us turn over every stone.
When are you inviting her on the show?
She's so busy. You know what it's like for me to even get an appointment with this chick? Anyway.
I like how you say that. This chick.
She is so
that chick from the bowling alley.
Yeah. Anyway, so but she says people need to be wearing masks right now. Yeah. And she said, and that's the problem, because she's here and she's in Jersey. And she said, Jersey, they're not taking it quite as seriously, and I wish they would, because she goes, because I see the people that are sick, and she says it's not, this is not an easy. There's still so much controversy, even on how to treat it, and what works and what doesn't, and it's just better to be safe than sorry. Please wear your mask.
Please wear your mask. Yes, I'm wholeheartedly. Okay. I wear it. I don't bring it in here. I mean,
no, I don't bring mine in here either, because it's just
been us. I mean, I have one on my desk if I need one.
Right.
Right. So yeah, just wear your mask. And I have to say, this community as a whole has been supportive.
I have to say, a lot of people wear masks here.
And Ronnie makes a good point. I mean, if seeing the videos from the shore, well, I was trying to. He says people at the shore aren't wearing them, and I will say some of these videos, even just for people congregating at the beaches, forget about protests and whatever else. Just even the regular congregations that you go to the beach, but we're not just. I mean, you're sitting in 90-degree weather. I understand. If you're getting up and going to be near people, if you're by yourselves and contained and everybody's I get it. Don't put the mask on. Right. But you need to be conscious of getting up and moving and being around people. If you're going to be around people, take that in consideration. You might not be wearing it for yourself. You're at least wearing it for everybody else around you. Just be considerate and
just contain your spray.
I mean, I know. Sadly, we know too many people that probably spit when they talk to begin with. Anyway, hey. So
we went off on a tangent there.
That's okay. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Don't touch your face.
If your hands are dirty, don't touch your face. You've got hand sanitizer. I will say stuff is more available today. If you can't get masks, there are places you can get them more often now. It's a little bit better.
Pretty much everywhere.
I like seeing the online retail. I mean, Etsy is loaded with them. I bought my mom a couple masks that she saw, and she wanted a little like flowers.
Right,
she did not like the medical mask, but sadly, she had a panic attack wearing one.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, she had a panic attack in the store.
Well, because if you think about it, you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide.
So I have, and so Joe just mentioned he delivers for a pharmacy. And he's got everything in the car. I have the same thing in my car. I've always had hand sanitizer in the car, but now I have a pump sitting there. I do have gloves in the car now.
I don't.
And that was more for the beginning. The last I went to the gas station this past week, I didn't use them.
I went to the gas
places.
station.
I've moved away from being more reliant on them, but they're in the car available. I've always had garbage bags and paper towels and wipes. That's something I've always had, but they're just more accessible.
Yeah, keep the little thing, the hand sanitizer right there. Because basically, if anybody's going to the store, it's me. My mom doesn't go in. Ray doesn't go in. It's me. I'm like they send me out on the mission to buy stuff, and I run into the store like a lunatic and pick up everything.
Speaking of missions, I just totally outside this topic.
Go ahead.
Have TV related. Have you watched The Handmaid's Tale?
No, but that girl was in. She was in Mad Men.
Yes,
she was one of the main characters in Mad Men.
And I didn't.
No, I don't watch that, but I've heard it's out there.
Just started watching it last night because now we finished it. Beauty and the Baker, the Baker and the Beauty. We finished that. I wanted to watch Quiz. So Quiz is on BBC. It's I think it's BBC. It's there are only 3 episodes. They're like an hour long, but it's based on a true story of the guy who cheated, allegedly cheated, playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in Britain.
Who Wants to Be? Oh, so it's new then?
No. It's an old. The story's old. The show itself, Quiz, is new. But the story.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is not that old.
How long ago do you think Millionaire was on TV with Regis Philbin when it first started?
Oh, okay.
Almost 20.
I was going to say maybe
it's at least
18,
15 years.
Maybe
15 to 18 years or so. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's comparative to the other shows where the guy who was cheating on Price is Right, the guy who was cheating on.
Yeah, but there was an older story.
Pressure Luck. I mean, those cheats. Yeah,
there's an older story.
This guy,
$64,000 question, maybe somebody cheated.
Pyramid.
No, it wasn't Pyramid. It wasn't a new era show.
Oh, an old one.
It was definitely
Pressure
an old
Luck.
one.
That guy was before the graphics of before the whammy graphics with the box. How they came to the boxes. That guy cheated, figured out the algorithm. The guy on the. So anyway. They're all good. They're all good series, and we're into that. So, and they're based on true stories. This guy allegedly cheated on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I went to go find it last night, and I couldn't find it. But you could only watch $64,000 Pyramid.
No, that Pyramid is different. $64,000 question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes.
That's the old one.
The old one. Back in the 50s. Yes.
Yeah, they made a movie with what's his name in it. I could see his face.
Oh, what's the name of the movie?
The guy with the blue eyes.
So
anyway. Quiz.
Only one episode was available. And I was like, I want to watch it if we're going to watch it in 3 episodes. But the story really is interesting. So he his wife was in like it keeps building up to something. And I remember reading about this, but now I'm interested to watch it. So
yeah.
And so Christine says she watched it, she loves it. So I don't know if she's talking about this or Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale, I mean, we started watching that last night. That's cuckoo. Yeah,
I know it's off the wall.
People locked up. I mean, it's interesting. And I don't know if it's based on a book. I don't know if there's any truth to the story. I believe that stuff like that does exist.
Right, it's probably
I just don't think it exists to that extent. But I mean,
you never know.
I can't imagine.
There's craziness in this world, Frank.
Anyway,
just look on TikTok.
So we talked a little bit about our guest this week. Tomorrow, tune in. PWBA champion.
She's going to be right. Well, she won't be here. Danielle McEwen
on the screen in front of us.
Danielle McEwen.
Yeah,
it's a very, very talented, beautiful, great bowler. Funny.
She's great.
She's a good girl. Good.
We'll talk with her tomorrow here on Live from Rabs. And then the rest of the week. So, and before you know it, it'll be Sunday. And guess what happens on Sundays?
We're off on Sunday.
We're now off on Sundays. So appearing live every day, 6 days a week until further notice, Live from Rabs, 2 p.m. here on the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
And the YouTube. Tune in every day except for Sunday. So now you've got... you have better notice that we're not going to be live on Sunday.
Yes.
We've made that decision this past week that we're going to take Sundays off, and hopefully we've got nice
it's going to rain.
Weather. Don't even say it.
It's going to rain.
So now we were supposed to get that rain coming up, and it looks right now just a little cloudy. So I think we might skate that rain.
Really? It's supposed to come tomorrow night, they said.
Yes, tomorrow and Thursday.
Right.
But then after Friday, it clears back up again.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nice weekend.
But then it's Monday, Tuesday. Right now, it's in the calendar. So who knows? I don't get excited. Sadly, we don't want it. Tuesday is Thomas's birthday, and we're doing a drive-by.
You don't want it. You don't want it that day.
We don't want it that day. That's the worst time to rain. But
yes,
we want beautiful weather now since we're not open. We want all the rain to come when bowling is back.
Right.
That's when we want it to rain. We don't want it to rain now.
Not now.
Joe, hey Brian, you asked this question before. I already told you. Joe Cal is not going to be here tomorrow. But maybe you weren't paying attention before. So Danielle McEwen tomorrow. No Joe Cal. Joe Cal will be back on Saturday.
He will be sending us his questions.
Our good friend Andy Kane. I like that. I think I'm going to call him that now.
You going to call him Andy?
He might not like that. I don't know if he likes that, but we're going to find out.
We'll find out, I'm sure.
Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
No, nice. Smash
the like button.
Yes. Smash it right now. Smash the like button. Smash it. Smash the like button. Or the love button.
We like the love. We like the hearts. We never get hearts, but okay.
We get hearts.
We get a couple hearts.
No
angry faces.
No angry faces or sad faces. We had a sad face yesterday. I think it was a mistake. Unless we said something that made somebody upset. I don't really know what we could do to make you upset because we love you all. So today, reminder: wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Stay 6 feet apart. And the more that we do this, the more we come out of this.
Yeah, and the faster we're back to bowling.
Yes.
Really crazy. I know. I know.
We'll see you tomorrow.
That was awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.